Now, one thing that I've noticed as a trend is whenever I talk to some of the younger people in AEW, a lot of them have mentioned how helpful you have been. And so I'm kind of curious, is being a trainer or a coach at some point once you've actually like fully hung up the boots, is that something that interests you at all?
It would if there was someplace closer to my house to train people.
Oh, gotcha.
But
So you don't want to own a school, but you wouldn't mind if there was one nearby you could do some stuff at.
yeah. 100%. I mean, there are certain people who want. My wife is one of these people. There are certain people who want to be entrepreneurs. I don't. I would rather just be an employee, right? so,
We're very
so
similar that way.
yeah. I mean, the stress of running a company, I don't want to have to worry about it, right? That sort of thing. But it's, yeah, like I love wrestling and I love the training aspect of wrestling. But it would require having someplace close to my house because I wouldn't want to travel to do it. So there's that. But I mean, there's a couple people who reach out to me, via text message and all that kind of stuff. And, where I help them with some of that kind of stuff, send them matches as far as like, hey, watch this, and then lay out like, okay, here's this, and this that you can take from watching this match that you wouldn't necessarily see in modern wrestling. So some of that kind of stuff I do, and that's fun and easy, and easy to do from home. So that sort of thing. But to be honest, the mentorship part of it. So William Regal has been just an incredible mentor to me my entire career. And most of that has been like kind of over the phone. You know what I mean? Like, we had to develop the relationship in person. But most of it's been, we haven't been around each other that much during those periods, like when I was on the independents and even when I was in WWE and he was in WWE, like we rode together for a little bit, but then he was taken off the road and all that kind of stuff. So it's, I think, first you have to develop a relationship in person, but then, from there you can mentor people from afar. It's a lot easier now than ever. So
Now, on screen, you have been a mentor to Wheeler Yuta in the Blackpool Combat Club. Talk about the progression you've seen that young man make since you joined AEW and he came in, and where you think his career is going to go from here.
Yeah, so I think Wheeler he has so much upside, and there's he's just like he's an incredible human being, and I think that's the part that like I really look at with people as far as like, okay, how much work are they willing to do, right? Because if you were to look at me, I'm not sure how old Wheeler is right now. Might be 27. But if you were to look at me like, if you were to look at me when I was 27, I had a lot of holes in my game, right? And as far as like the part, like it's hard to be a TV wrestler now when you're in your 20s because everybody expects so much of you, and then you have social media to like criticize anything that you do that they seem to be like, oh, so and so, he's this or he's that or whatever it is, right? Like if social media were around when I was 26, right, and they were able to see every promo that I did, I might have to stick my my head in the sand, right? Because now that's part of the problem. Like you've got people who have been wrestling 5-6 years who are really, really good, but there might be one aspect that they're struggling with or they're still learning or whatever it is, but we still have, but you still need to give them reps on TV and you still need to give them opportunities and all that kind of stuff. And then if people go online and like criticize them for it, it makes them feel like they're not good enough. When the reality is, me at 26, my promos, like, I'm sorry, they weren't, I had a couple good ones. If I did, so when I was 26, that would have been 2007. So I probably had a couple good promos in 2007. But a majority of my promos were not good promos. And so like you look at things like that, and I have a deep empathy for them being criticized so much, like, at this stage. But I think Wheeler from an in-ring standpoint and from a promo standpoint, he's getting better all the time, and he's understanding, and that's one of the biggest things is you have these, okay, like if I wanted to wrestle, for example, if I wanted to wrestle like Steve Austin, right? Like, say I want to wrestle like Steve Austin, but I look like me. I can't wrestle like Steve Austin, right? And so you have to find, okay, this is the wrestling that I like, but this is the style of wrestling that fits me, and I like these style of promos, but these are the style of promos that fit me. And it's all about learning and being open to learning and seeking new experiences that will help you learn. And I think Wheeler's always somebody who's willing to show up and work hard and get better at those things. And like I've loved watching him progress. And he did a match with Rocky Romero on Rampage, not last week but the week before, which was just fantastic. And it's just one of those things where you see it and you're like, yeah, I mean I just think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, definitely.